William McNeil Jr. Hold my hand when I say this. Why the fuck would you come on this app and make it seem like them people was just beating your ass for no reason? Whole time you were the aggressor. Whole time you was being smart.
How can I help you, officer?
Your lights were off. Just turn them back on.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much.
License and registration?
Oh yeah, give me 1 second. I got you.
Birth certificate? What do you do for work? Are your parents legal?
What do I do for work?
Where are your parents? You're black.
So I just listened to the broadcast of the father of the boy who was punched in the face and beat up by the police in reference to that traffic stop in Jacksonville. And see, here's what I mean when I say that Christianity makes weak black men. I was with the dad up until he said he loved God first.
Want to know why black Americans still don't trust the police? Here's a great example. This is
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Burrs or Belly Dirt Stranad. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I'm gonna be your today's host, and I have so many statistics to put up here, and we're gonna come out to talk about it. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
Want to know why black Americans still don't trust the police? Here's a great example. This is William McNeil Jr., pulled over in the daytime because his headlights weren't on in possibly inclement weather. He was calm, compliant. He even put his hands in the air. He asked why he was being stopped. He asked for a supervisor. He showed no threat to anyone whatsoever. He never resisted. Then, all of a sudden, they smashed his window. He didn't fight back. Still, he didn't run. He didn't resist. And then an officer who was not supposed to be above the law, what did he do? He threw a punk-ass punch. There was no reason for that punch. Then, sadly, 3 officers dragged him out and beat him while he was still, once again, not resisting. Look at that knockout punch. Watch it carefully. All that for headlights in the daytime. No resistance. And yes, he had every right to ask for a supervisor. We all do. And don't tell me this isn't about race, because it is. Had he been white, like me, do you honestly think that would have happened to him? You know the answer. Let's not fool each other. It wouldn't have. This is why black Americans don't trust the police. It's not paranoia. It's what they have to live through. William McNeil got fists for using his voice to ensure his rights were protected. And what happened to the officers? Were they arrested? Were they charged? Nope and nope. Administrative leave. A paid Netflix marathon vacation for beating a man on camera. That's not justice, and justice isn't for just us. It's supposed to be for all of us. We're all supposed to have the same rights. But only one group keeps getting reminded that their rights end the moment a cop gets annoyed or his fragile ego or God complex is injured or questioned. Wusses with a badge. These pathetic excuses for cops need to be removed from the force, charged with assault, and jailed like the criminals they are for betraying public safety and the image of good, honest, hard-working cops who do follow the rules. Call this what it is: racism, protection, and unacceptable for this country. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, share, and follow, and have a great day.
No, the new footage of William McNeil changes nothing. And I can already hear some of y'all being hella annoying that we always make everything about race, cause it's relevant. But let's talk about this. Recently, this American man put up this video. Police pulled him over. They broke his window and punched him before violently dragging him out and punching him some more. The police department, that's a way to discredit this man, posted this video to try and make it seem like his non-compliance is what led to the following events.
Absolutely, there's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. 2 things, you're not not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
It's
not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
It's only 35. I'm fucking with dog driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
Hey, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
For not having the lights on during this weather is crazy. Like, it's not foggy, it's not raining heavy. I can 100% understand his perspective of like, what the hell? So y'all just looking for any excuse to have me being pulled over? They could have called the supervisor, gave him his ticket for not having his seatbelt. That's that. I don't think there was anything that he did that warranted the violence that followed. Felt like a power trip by this officer. He didn't do as he was told. Even when he broke the window, he could have opened the door and just dragged him out. What was the purpose of the violence? Let me ask y'all one question and answer this honestly. If McNeil was not a black man and he was a white man or a white woman, would this officer have done the exact same thing? And would the public have looked at the footage that the police put out and say that they deserved it if the cop did do that because of the non-compliance? Because I don't think so. I think some people need to be put on leave, unpaid. So if this is their response to non-compliance, I wonder what else is happening when it's not being recorded. I think it's an important conversation. Familia, what do you all think? Y'all agree with what happened? If you agree with what I said, please don't forget to follow. Adios.
So I just listened to the broadcast of the father of the boy who was punched in the face and beat up by the police in reference to that traffic stop in Jacksonville. And see, here's what I mean when I say that Christianity makes weak black men. I was with the dad up until he said he loved God first. What did your God do to protect your child? And what has this God done to protect others who have been killed by the police? I thank God first, or I love God first. I saw the pain in his eyes. I could imagine what he really felt and wanted to do. But what Christianity does, the black man in particular, is it causes him not to address face to face, dead on, head on, those social issues that affect the black community, in particular. Instead, he'll say, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. He said at the end of that interview, God got him. Like what? God got the kids in St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital who are fighting for their lives because of cancer? Like God got all of the other Christian parents who lost their children to gun violence or something else? Gotta stop talking like that. But that's what Christianity does. I already know what y'all gonna say. Feel how you wanna feel. Those are the facts.
So Mr. McNeil Jr., on top of being above the law, on top of being a criminal, on top of lacking accountability, can also add liar to his resume. So we all saw the viral video of what led up to the extraction and arrest of Mr. McNeil during that traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. And this beautiful piece of evidence came from the body-worn cameras of the officers on scene. However, the video points a much different narrative than the one that Mr. McNeil had shown. And I swear to you, this is my last time speaking on this issue, ever. We all know how emotional a certain segment of the black community has gotten since this video has aired. Mind you, this incident occurred in February. Yet this app has gone crazy with people saying police brutality. They racially profiled this man. He did nothing wrong. He shouldn't have been ordered to get out of the car. With that argument, I urge a lot of you to go and research Pennsylvania v. Mims, which gives law enforcement officers the authority to order a subject out of the vehicle for safety purposes of that officer and the subject. But I digress. Recently, the family of Mr. McNeil and his representatives gave a press conference at an empty church. In attendance was his attorney, Mr. Benny Can't Win a Case Crumble Cookie, who called for Mr. McNeil to take the podium. And here's what he had to say.
We're just going to make a few remarks before we go to Q&A. And keep this family in prayer because, as his mother and father both said, they knew he could have been the next hashtag. It could have been a different result had he not kept his demeanor.
First of all, I want to thank God bringing everybody here together. And thank y'all for supporting. That day, I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, and that's enough, William.
Yeah.
Now you see that? There's a person who has nothing to say because they're guilty. That whole press conference was predicated over a lie. Race baiting at its finest. I mean, talk about using the race card, which has insufficient funds at this point. This man knew he was wrong. And don't think there's going to be any kind of accountability. No, the police were wrong. The police were wrong for stopping him after he was committing a crime. I guess they were supposed to just let him loose. Yeah, maybe in California, but not in Florida. But at this point, people are tired of this behavior, even black people. And it makes the cry of racism, true racism, not valid.
Okay, so boom. So I know some of y'all are anti-calling black men out when they full of shit, but I'm not. And this man right here, TK Waters, the sheriff down there in Jacksonville, Florida, is full of shit. Let me explain. Back in February, William McNeil Jr. was driving home minding his business when he get pulled over by the police. So rightfully so, William is like, hey, why I'm getting pulled over? What I do? Mind you, William window don't roll down, so he opened his door and asked the police like, hey, what I do? Why am I getting pulled over? The police tell him that he getting pulled over because he don't have his headlights on. William is confused because he like, it's broad daylight, it's not raining, what do I need my headlights on for, right? Clearly the interaction with the first officer didn't go down too smooth because we get another officer. William starts explaining his first interaction to the new officer like, hey, check this out, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm getting pulled over for. He's talking about something, I ain't got no headlights on. So the other officer, the second officer that pulled up, he like, yeah, you supposed to have your headlights on type vibes, right? So William is like, okay, well, show me the law, because that don't make no sense to me, right? Next thing we know, the initial officer or the first officer on William's side, he busts the window in.
Go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle.
Well, Legally Hype, why are you saying that Sheriff TK is full of shit? Check this out.
Look at the other video from the cell phone video.
Yeah.
I can understand the officer punching the window out. But what I don't understand is, and I know you said that this was not ruled criminal, sucker punching the guy in the jaw.
First of all, let me stop you. Not a sucker punch. I'm not excusing that administratively. I'm going to say that to you one more time. I'm not excusing that administratively. There are things that we definitely need to look at. But the context of this video should tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, it tells us everything that we need to know, including the fact that you full of shit because you didn't see this. And I haven't had a chance to read all the court documents yet, but apparently that sucker punch that we saw was ruled to be not criminal. What about this part?
Stop fighting! Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
So now I'm trying to figure out how somebody who got snatched out of their seatbelt out of the car that y'all have full bodily control over was resisting arrest after you then punched him in his face and threw him on the ground. So from this incident, McNeil ended up being charged with resisting arrest without violence. He had a little Mary Jane on him, driving with a suspended license, and not wearing a seatbelt. Hold the fuck on. That wasn't him locked in his seatbelt before they snatched him out? Now, apparently it was something in the police report that claims that an officer saw McNeil try to reach for a knife, and then TK doubled down on the bullshit, talking about some, oh, we couldn't see his hands. Okay, I got something for you.
What is your...
You full of shit, TK.
William McNeil Jr. Hold my hand when I say this. Why the fuck would you come on this app and make it seem like them people was just beating your ass for no reason? Whole time you were the aggressor. Whole time you was being smart. And you didn't think they was going to think to pull up the body cam. This happened in February. And they said you brought the situation back up in March. And you posted on the internet. And now it's going viral on TikTok. The local news is talking about it. You're buzzing. You're trying to sue the police department. Whole time you were the aggressor. I just made a fucking video about you yesterday. That motherfucker is doing numbers. That video is doing numbers. You have embarrassed me. Now I'm embarrassed because I came on this motherfucker. I used my platform. I used my voice. I basically was talking about police brutality and how they need to stop and how the civilians are unaliving them because they're too aggressive. And here you is with the bullshit. Got me stuttering. Here you is with the bullshit. Whole situation was a lie. They pulled that body camera up in 24 hours, no problem. Slapping on the table. Lying ass. Yeah, lying ass. You ain't getting shit. You ain't getting shit. But
they broke his window, punched him in his face, drug him out the car, punched him again, and threw him on the ground. That man was charged with resisting arrest on a non-arrestable offense. He was pulled over for headlights in broad daylight. He got beat for exercising his constitutional right. I don't care what happened, what took place before the few moments of the video that we seen. I don't care what choice words that man used. He was not a threat at the time. Before they even opened the car door, he punched him in the face. And for that police officer, another black man, to get up there and look the public dead in their face and tell us that there was no violation done, he can go to hell. And I no longer claim him as part of the black community. That man is a sellout. Do we have the same eyes? We, the public. We, the people. We seen the video. That man was not a threat. They did never need to do any of that. That shit got me pissed off. Pissed off is an understatement.
The William McNeil Jr. arrest now has gotten more interesting with the body cam footage being released earlier by the actual sheriff's department. Now, here's the thing. As a person who was a career DOT driver at one point in this state for well over 7 years, I'm going to go ahead and shine some light on some of the laws people think they know about Florida, but they clearly don't. First things first. They pulled him over for the headlight infraction. He was driving without his headlights on in the middle of the day during inclement weather, they said. Now, here's the thing about the body cam footage. It's quite incriminating to the cops because it shows that not only was it not inclement weather, it was overcast. It was not raining. It was not fog. There was no reduced visibility. There was no mist, which means legally he did not have to have his headlights on in the state of Florida, which state those are the only instances in which we have to have them on in a combination with our windshield wipers unless you were driving in the twilight hours of the day or between sunset and sunrise. This stop happened at 4:15 in the afternoon is when he was arrested. This video goes on for several minutes, meaning he was pulled over sometime between 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 4:10, and then his arrest happened at 4:15. Now, aside from that, let's take a look at the body cam footage on the other half of that. Whereas the cops, who then said, remember, he got pulled over for not having his headlights on, cops on the body cam footage then pull up for backup without their headlights on. Then you also have the problem of the seatbelt. Now, when the body cam footage starts, it's the cop getting out of his car. The driver opens his door and sets his foot out of the car. However, he states it's because his window does not roll down, so he's trying to communicate with the officer. And as far as concerned, people are trying to say, well, he didn't have his seatbelt on. Prove on camera where he was driving without his seatbelt on. He had the car off, door open. He could have already undone his seatbelt in between that and the cop getting out of his car. You do see later when they yank him out of the car, however, they reach across his lap and throw his seatbelt off of him before pulling him out of the car and assaulting him and then throwing his ass to the ground as far as that's concerned. So I don't know why you guys think that regardless of how everything ensued, and sure, if he had a suspended license, whatever's going on with that, fine. The stop itself was unlawful. The stop itself did not violate a single law. Unless the cops can prove that he was driving without a seatbelt on, which the body cam footage does not show, nor does McNeil's footage show, then this stop at the time of recording, as we know, is bullshit. And that's the problem here. And his lawyer, McNeil's lawyer, is going to have a fucking field day with it.
No, some of y'all Uncle Tom coonery is impressive. Because the way that y'all are willing to accept anything to make the man feel good about you, I don't know how y'all do it, but it's impressive. The body cam footage from the encounter with Will McNeil Jr. and the Jacksonville Police Department was released to the public. And since that body cam footage has been released, I have watched several black people get on the internet and try to make excuses for what the Jacksonville police did to Will McNeil Jr. I don't care if he said no when they said get out the car. I don't care if he closed the door back. I don't care if he asked for a supervisor. They struck him in the face twice. Once when he was in the car, not resisting, and once when they pulled him out of the car and he was also not resisting. He was then thrown on the ground, face in the glass that was shattered from his window that they broke, and then pulled up and thrown against the car. In his mugshot, you can see his busted lip, for which he needed 9 stitches. He also suffered from short-term memory loss, a concussion, and he had a chipped tooth. I'm trying to figure out why y'all would think that there was any excuse for a police officer striking someone in the face. I'm trying to figure out why y'all think there's any excuse for somebody laying someone face down in glass and concrete. Like, what is a good excuse for that? And to be quite frank, in both POVs of the video, he wasn't resisting arrest once they broke the glass. At that point, that was just about pure frustration and lack of emotional regulation. Some of y'all just be way too hyped to demonize other black people. It's crazy.
This is not a news story. It's a repeated headline, a circle, a heartbreak. But every once in a while, there is a moment that perfectly explains why black Americans still don't trust the police. Why the war serve and protect ring hollow in too many ears. That moment right now is William McNeil Jr., a man put over in broad daylight. Why? Because his headlights wasn't on. That is it, not a broken tail light, not speeding, not suspected of a crime, just headlights in possibly inclement weather. Yet somehow what began as a simple stop ended in a shattered glass, fists flying, and a black man being dragged out of his car like an animal. Let's unpack these moments frame by frame, system by system, century by century. William McNeil Jr. complied. He didn't shout, he didn't flee, he didn't reach, he asked questions, the kind you did hope any citizen would ask during a traffic stop. Why am I being stopped? Can I speak to a supervisor? Those aren't threats, those are right. Yet the response he got wasn't patient. It wasn't the escalation. It was pure, unprovoked violence. The window of his vehicle was smashed without warning, and when he didn't lodge, didn't flee, didn't even flinch, an officer punched him in the face. That punch wasn't about control, it wasn't about compliances, it was about dominance, about humiliation. Let's stop here and ask, what is the proper response when someone calmly asks to speak to a supervisor? What should be the standard when someone puts their hands in the air? Why is restraint met with aggression? And more importantly, why do these situations always seem to escalate when the person behind the wheel is black? This wasn't a man posing a threat. This was a man trying to survive a police encounter like so many others. George Floyd, Philando Castro, Sandra Bland, who also did everything right and still ended up brutalized or dead. Let's talk about the officers. 3 of them, trained, armed, sworn to uphold the law. They didn't see William as a citizen with rights. They didn't see a man. They saw a target, a threat, an object to be subdued. Watch the footage again. If you can stomach it, he punched in the face after already complying. Then he dragged, slammed, and beaten by a trio of officers while showing zero resistance. Where in the police academy is that part of the manual? Where in the code of ethics does it say beat first, ask questions never? Because that is what happened. Some will say, but we don't know what happened before the camera started rolling. Let's address that argument. What we do know is this: the violence began after he complied. The punch was thrown while he was calm. The beatdown came after he asked for a supervisor. There was no moment, zero, where McNeil posed a physical threat to those officers. So we need to stop by trying to find excuses to rationalize brutality. Stop hunting for missing context when the visible context is already damning. Now let's zoom out. This isn't just about one man in a one car on one street. This is about a system, a culture that has normalized excessive force against black bodies. It's about decades of unchecked power, about broken accountability system where internal reviews are a joke and paid leaves is the default response to violence. And it's about why black communities teach their sons and daughters how to survive police stops, not how to seek justice, but how to avoid death. Hands visible, no sudden moves, be polite, record everything, don't reach, don't argue, and even then, it might not save you. Just ask William McNeil Jr. What happened to McNeil echoes the historical trauma of Americans' policy roots, from slave patrols in the South to Jim Crow enforcement to counter pro-surveillances of black activists to the model-day killing of unarmed black civilians. The story has never been about law enforcement equally protecting everyone. It's been about maintaining control, about policing proximity, and about deciding conscientiously or not who deserves violence and who doesn't. Ask yourself, if William McNeil Jr. had been white, would his window have been smashed so quickly? Would he have been punched for calmly asking for a supervisor? Would 3 officers have dragged him out like an animal? You know the answer, and that is the problem. We all know the answer, and yet we are still told this isn't about race. But when patterns repeat again and again, it's not a coincidence, it's a design. We need to talk about trauma. Imagine you are a black parent watching that video. How do you tell your teenager son that he's safe out there? Imagine you are a black driver pulled over tomorrow. How do you trust the officer walking toward you? This isn't just fear, it's generational fear. It's lived experience. It's watching video after video of people who look like you being treated like punching bags, without cause, without justice. William McNeil Jr. didn't just experience state violence, he became part of a legacy. A legacy none of us asked for, but one we keep inheriting. So what do? We demand accountability, but we know how rare that is. We call for reform, but reform doesn't rebuild trust. We protest, but even peaceful protests get labeled violent. And so we tell the stories, we share the videos, we shine the light, because silence is complexity and normalization is deadly. This video isn't just for William. It's for every name that didn't make the headlines, for every window smashed, for every punch thrown, every right ignored. William McNeil Jr. survived, but what if he hasn't? What should the headline have said? Man killed during traffic stop, suspect resisted arrest, officers feared for their safety. We know how that script goes. But this time, the camera was rolling, and this time, the lie can't stand. Black American doesn't trust the police, not because they hate the law, but because the law so often doesn't protect them. Because one calm, compliant man with his hands in the air still got beaten like a criminal without a cause, without resistance, without justice. And if that is what compliances gets you, what hope is there for trust?
And if you watch up to this extent, don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just share your thought? Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.